Welcome everybody to this video. Today I'm going to discuss my thoughts on the diagram of meditation, a form of meditation given by HP Blavatsky, the founder of the Theosophical Society. And this meditation is a pretty unique one. Normally we can think of meditation as a state of where the mind is expected to be kept quiet, that is a state of mindful mindlessness. But this is different. Here you are thinking, but thinking in a certain pattern and with a certain foundation. So here first, in the beginning of the meditation, one first conceives of being in a state of unity. And how do you do that? You expand yourself, your consciousness, which is the base of all consciousness. So this is the theory behind this meditation, that what we consider as our consciousness, that is our awareness, uh, is the awareness of every single person or every single living creature in this universe, and is behind and is the same as the consciousness of that divine. So we put ourselves in that place where we expand ourselves in endless time and endless space. So she says, first conceive of unity, as you can see in the first of this, which is just below the description of the diagram of meditation. She says, first conceive of unity by expansion in time and infinite, in expansion in space and infinite in time. Now, here she says, without self or with self identification, which means either you can say that I am expanding in time and space, or you can say that this consciousness, which is covers this entire universe and is timeless. So you can first put yourself in that situation in your mind. And then she says, meditate logically and consistently on this in reference to states of consciousness. Then the normal state of consciousness must be molded by the following. So here you can see that she is not saying that don't just breathe and think nothing or allow thoughts to go. Rather, you think carefully and systematically, logically on the following things, where your mind is looking at all of these things that you got to acquire, which is acquisitions, a list of things, and things that you should avoid, that is deprive yourself of, which is a constant refusal of thinking of things of a certain number of things. So starting with the acquisition, the first thing is to have in your imagination a presence of yourself in all space and time. See, the relevance of this meditation is that you are trying in your meditation to see the reality of what exists. And this is truly the real thing, that what is your consciousness is the consciousness of everything, and is the base, is that base itself. So tattvam asi, as the Upanishads say, or aham brahmasmi, that particular thing, that is the meditative thing, where you meditate on that thing that you are yourself. But and from this, she says, there originates a substratum of memory, which does not cease in waking or dreaming, and its manifestation is courage. Why courage? Because if you are that universe, that consciousness, you have no fear. You don't fear death, because you know you continue after death. You don't fear injury. You don't fear complete failure of your life, because you know that you will have other opportunities to live. You are endless. You do not have any end in your living consciousness. So that is where the word courage comes in. And then she says, with memory of universality, all dread vanishes during the dangers and trials of life. That is what I said, that you have no fear of any kind of dread or worry for all the things that could go wrong in your life. Then the second thing that she asks you to acquire is that you have an attitude to all existing things of neither love nor hate nor indifference, which means a sense of tolerance, that everything that exists, neither do you avoid it, nor do you want it, but nor are you indifferent to it. You just observe it as it is. And here, then she says that you have to be mentally the same to all, though you know that they are all each different. Herein comes the next thing, which is equilibrium, or the one of the uh, four Brahma Vidyas, which the Buddha also said, which is a sense of balance. So you have this constant calm inside you, and this calm is an outcome of wisdom, of benevolence, sympathy, justice, and it is an intuitive identification of the individual with others. So that is, you identify yourself with every single thing that is around. You can feel what they're feeling, you can think what they're thinking. So you are aware that you are just like them and they are just like you. So this is the second thing, that you have to have this attitude towards everything of this sort. Then the third thing is, so the first was to imagine yourself as being timeless and spaceless and completely endless in your consciousness. The second is your awareness of how you treat the other people, other things, other living creatures around you, which is a sense of tolerance. And the third is that you realize the perception in all embodied beings of limitation only, criticism without praise or blame. That is, you are aware that of their faults, but you do not criticize. You criticize in the sense you are critically aware of their faults, but you neither praise them or their good qualities. So you neither praise them nor do you blame them for their negativity. You know that they have a long way to go, and nature will provide them the way to succeed in their lives. So then the next section of this. So these were all the acquisitions. So apart from that, you have to also keep in your mind deprivations. That is the constant refusal to think of reality, the reality of the following five things, which is separations, meetings, associations with places, times, and forms, futile longings, expectations, sad memories, broken heartedness. So this is something which is constant in all of us. We have all lost someone that we love. We also lose even our sometimes our country, our place of birth, and so many of our personal belongings, and we live in this sense of deprivation always. So if we refused to think about it, so the Buddha did said very nicely on how to go about refusing to think about it. The word he uses is abandon. Just simply abandon whatever is your sense of deprivation, the sense of incompleteness that you have, because there is no such thing as incomplete. It is just one thing that has occurred in your life. You will have many more opportunities in many more lives to find that, if that is what you want. Then the next thing she talks about is distinction of friend or foe, and you have neither anger nor bias towards anybody. So you realize that all friends can turn to foes, all foes can turn to friends. We do not know what may trigger somebody to behave adversely to us or to behave well with us. So we do not distinguish between a friend or a foe, because they're all just human beings. It almost goes back to the second point, where you say that you have this attitude of mind which is neither love nor hate. The same thing, but in deprivation, you are careful not to have any kind of anger. So the deprivation of anger, you refuse to get angry on anything. Then the third thing is any kind of possession. So you do not pride yourself of possessions, whether it is a position, a title, or a worldly good, a material item. You are, and also not of ambition. So ambition is a form of power in many ways. You could be ambitious for a good goal, but is there an underlying desire for power in under it, or is it that the goal itself is an end in itself? In that case, that is not ambition, but that is just an aspiration to do good. So you have to see whether you have any of these traits in you, and you have to be in a mental, you have to work constantly in your mind in this meditation to avoid that kind of greed like nature. Next is having a sort of self image of your personality, and then building on that image that I am doing this meditation and I am going to reach somewhere. That also has to be avoided, because that is also not the truth. You will probably be born the next birth completely in a new country with complete new set of families and background and schooling and education, which will you will completely forget all of this. So what is the point of being proud of this personality? This is going to die in a couple of decades, and then what is left? So that is the truth, that you are depriving yourself of the truth. In fact, you are depriving yourself of a delusion that you have of your own self. Then the final thing that you deprive yourself is any form of desire, that is gluttony or lust. Where why that? Because again, that is a very temporary thing, and it's not that you are in this. It's only in this meditation that you have to deprive yourself of this. You have to see the reality of it. As the Buddha says, everything that you desire eventually will lead you to unhappiness, because in some form or the other it will end. Everything that is there, that is desirable, has an end. So even today you are very fond of sweets. Some day will come when you're too old to have, you cannot eat that, or you don't have any teeth, or you have sugar condition that you cannot you cannot eat that. So there is no permanence in anything which is of worldly pleasure. It is a temporary thing, and it ends. And it also results in pain when you no longer can get that pleasure. So these are the two aspects of this meditation. Then she says in the note part here, these deprivations are produced by the perpetual imagination without delusion of I am without the recognition of their being. That is, these deprivations are in this imagination that you are nothing, that you do not exist. And when you say that to yourself, that you are something which has no attributes, that is the true nature of this consciousness. This consciousness, or that depth, that consciousness, or all this word, the word consciousness refers to just that thing, that it has absolutely no attributes, which is also one thing that all spiritual teachings tell you, that nobody can tell you what the divine is like, that what is because it has no attributes at all. It just exists. In theosophy, it's called beingness. That is benness, as is just the fact that it exists. It you can know it, but you cannot ascribe any description to it. So here, finally, there is no risk of self delusion if the personality is deliberately forgotten. So this is part of this exercise, that you deliberately forget this personality, which is very hard to do, because you have spent your entire life building this personality, whether in your work, in your studies, in every way. Even in this meditation, when you enter this form of meditation, even there you are trying to build a certain type of personality. But then when you have to just imagine that there is nothing there, and that imagination is part of this exercise in this meditation. So this is what is the gist of this meditation. It's called the diagram of meditation, and you can find it online. And I think it's a very useful diagram, because it really teaches you what is meditation all about. What is the deep crux and purpose of all meditation, which is to reach that high consciousness, or that universal consciousness, to understand that and to see ourselves as that. So we are blinded by all of the other things, that all these things that we should avoid in us, and the things that we don't have, we have to acquire to reach that kind of understanding. So that is the main the theme of this meditation, and I hope this helps you in understanding. Thank you so much.